in the end actually gives the assets a bit of an advantage because earning, let's say 1, 2, 3% on something like XRP could actually be very appealing for a huge majority of the XRP holders.
Alrighty, everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to another CYPRX video banger. In today's video breakdown, we're going to be diving down the rabbit hole, continuing to show you guys the ongoing DeFi developments taking place on the XRPL, where we're entering into an era where XRP holders are not going to have to sell our XRP, and instead we can put our assets to work for us to generate passive income and participate in yield-bearing strategies. So we're going to open up some of those fundamentals and cover some of the things ongoing in the space that are going to be available to us as XRP holders. So if you guys enjoyed today's video breakdown, we would appreciate the love and support if you would do us a favor, smash that thumbs up button. And if you're not already subscribed to the CYPRX YouTube, do so now. Again, we do greatly appreciate it. Starting here, this space moves so fast. This was posted just at 4:30 p.m., June 30th, 2025 by Watcher Guru. Bloomberg raised the approval odds for spot XRP, Solana, and Litecoin ETFs to 95%. Things are getting very interesting, and it is my personal opinion that we are entering into an extreme inflection point where we're going to start to see institutional adoption at scale as we progress and move forward with regulatory clarity. Just in, Robinhood also launched ETH and Solana staking capabilities. This is monumental and opens up the door for everyday average retail individuals that are already comfortable with Robinhood to go in and stake their assets, in this case Ethereum and Solana. Besides the point, the major headline for today is this one. Major turning point where I said in this post, today the XRPL EVM sidechain launched on mainnet successfully. Congrats to Peersis, RippleX devs, and XLR, where a new era of finance is here. This will introduce a new perspective for XRP holders, one where we do not have to sell our XRP. Remember what Jazzy Cooper in this video from Apex said.
It's true, we're at a turning point. Public chains were once seen as too risky for institutions, and now it's too risky for institutions not to integrate them with their business. Institutions have truly embraced blockchain and are finally launching real products on public chains, including the XRP ledger. And XRPL is evolving to meet that demand. Over the past year, a number of key features have gone live, ranging from the automated market maker to decentralized identity, price oracles, and clawback. And we have others that are still in voting: credentials, MPTs, permission domains. These features are foundational infrastructure for building secure, transparent, and scalable financial products. And we're not just modernizing finance, we're making it more inclusive, accessible, and programmable. And we're finally seeing real traction. XRPL is supporting real-world applications ranging from payments to yield generation, all decentralized and at scale.
She mentions yield generation at scale and specifically said that it's more risky for institutions not to get involved than for them to participate in the crypto ecosystem, which is a huge statement. So as a retail investor that might be timid, that might be scared due to the market fluctuations and the volatility day to day that we experience, what should you be focused on? Research blue chip digital assets that are here to stay in this space in accumulation mode, right? This is groundbreaking stuff here that is taking place. So I want to dive into this Business Wire article where it talks about how XLR delivers the first cross-chain connectivity for the new XRP Ledger EVM sidechain, and talk about the different applications that are going to become available to us as everyday average retail investors. But before we do that, just taking a look back, I still have a firm belief that these two posts are going to age so extremely well. Where back at the beginning of June, I said smart people won't sell their XRP. They will learn how to lend, borrow, provide liquidity, yield farm, and liquid stake, paying themselves passive rewards with their XRP. However, most influencers are still out there manipulating people into thinking that the smartest approach is to sell their XRP for fiat. Those influencers are still living in 2021. And then another post back from July 15th, 2024, where I said to you guys, last bull market, XRP had no DeFi ecosystem helping boost momentum like ETH did. That is going to play an important role as we get into a later fundamental. Because remember, DeFi brings a certain aspect of utility to said underlying digital asset. Utility that was never unlocked before on XRP. And now that is all changed for the first time ever. You've seen nothing but DeFi developments on the XRPL. Buckle up, this ride will be different So going back to this article and just thoroughly reading through this so you guys understand the announcement and what took place today. Today at ETHCC, XLR Foundation, in collaboration with Ripple, Persist, and the broader XRP Ledger ecosystem, announced cross-chain connectivity for the XRPL EVM sidechain, and XRP Ledger mainnet is now live on day one via XLR. XRPL EVM sidechain is a fast, secure sidechain connected to the XRPL via XLR, a leading interoperability protocol connecting over 80 blockchains. We've made plenty of video breakdowns on this before. If you guys are new to the CYPRX YouTube, then head over to the playlist titled XLR and watch some of those previous video breakdowns, because we've been covering this project and this whole entire integration in detail from day one. XLR is the first cross-chain connector for transferring assets such as wrapped XRP, which will serve as the native gas token on the new XRP Ledger EVM sidechain. Additionally, the sidechain is integrated with Squid as the cross-chain transfer UI app for the XRPL and the EVM sidechain, elevating XRPL's multi-chain capabilities. The XRPL EVM sidechain has already attracted projects across DeFi building novel cross-chain apps, allowing XRPL users to interact with the protocols directly from mainnet without needing a new EVM sidechain wallet. Some of these partners include Strobe, which is a money market protocol that supports DeFi lending and over-collateralized borrowing on the XRPL. That's honestly my predominant focus, not having to sell your XRP when it goes to $1,000 and you want to buy yourself something nice, or you want to participate in further DeFi yield-bearing strategies and tokenization of real-world assets, lending out your XRP, borrowing against it, purchasing a house with it, tokenizing that property, then going out earning yield on that property through tokenization and physical tenants while utilizing that passive income to pay back your loan. Again, a strategy that we've talked about and discussed on the CYPRX YouTube before. And then also Secured, a lending protocol designed to provide secure passive income to asset holders by financing collateralized leverage across DeFi positions, and Vertex, a derivatives trading platform optimizing capital efficiency. Then it talks about institutional DeFi and beyond. Renowned for its reliability, speed, and low-cost performance, the XRP Ledger offers a trusted foundation for institutional tokenization of stablecoins and other real-world assets. With the XRPL EVM sidechain live now, developers can build, port, and deploy EVM capability dApps while tapping into XRP Ledger's established liquidity and decades plus of operational history. So a massive announcement. And while we're on that topic, coming over here, Flare Networks just posted this. Why could XRPFi see strong demand? Gabriel speaks on this from Centaura HQ and breaks it down. So I want to take a second and listen to this, but if you're not too familiar with who Centaura HQ is, if we head over here, don't forget that this fundamental development dropped from Medium on the Centaura X profile just a couple of days ago on May 6th. Into the Block has merged with Trident Digital to form Centaura, an institutional-grade DeFi platform combining yield strategies, risk management, and financial services. So that's who this gentleman Gabriel is coming from. And if we remember, so here is the post right here introducing Centaura. For those of you all who don't know what it is, again, this is from May 6, 2025. Today marks a defining moment in the evolution of Into the Block. We're reading this so that way we understand who we're listening to. We're thrilled to announce our merger with Trident Digital and the completion of a $25 million Series A funding round. This milestone accelerates our mission to bring institutional adoption of DeFi and unifies two pioneering teams under a new banner, Centaura. Centaura embodies the shared vision of ITB and Trident, Trident's important here, that DeFi must evolve to meet rigorous demands of institutional finance and move beyond the crypto native crowd. Okay, remember, everybody in crypto is still skeptical about DeFi, especially XRP holders, where they're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to utilize my XRP in DeFi because it's too risky. I can't comprehend it. It's this, I don't want to put my XRP to work, because the mentality that's not available to us has been embedded in us as XRP holders. But now that is all changing. Trident, this organization that partnered with Into the Block to build this Centaura platform, well, what did they announce just at the beginning of June? Right? Pay attention to detail. Trident announces up to $500 million in a financing plan for XRP Treasury and appoints Chance Securities LLC as the strategic advisor. And right down here, it mentions that this initiative will focus on the acquisition of XRP tokens as long-term strategic reserves and the deployment of staking mechanisms to generate yield and deepen engagement within the Ripple ecosystem. And they're announcing a $500 million financing plan for this. This is serious money, right? $500 million into this in order to generate yield with XRP. Okay, so let's take a second and listen to what this gentleman here says. Gabriel, that was posted by Flare Networks, talking about XRP-Fi and how important this is for XRP holders.
I think that the Flare network has a pretty good advantage with how its Oracle and data connectors are built out for being able to host very interesting AI agents that can operate with on and off chain data. I think that, as Jeremy said, this could easily be a catalyst. One thing that, at least for XRP and some of these other non-yield bearing assets that could potentially be onboarded through the F-Assets portal as well, that is a huge catalyst that maybe gets overlooked, is just the low cost of capital. So these different tokens that don't have any sort of native yield staking component like Ethereum means that there's no real way to generate yield natively for the assets, which in the end actually gives the assets a bit of an advantage, because earning, let's say 1%, 2%, 3% on something like XRP could actually be very appealing for a huge majority of the XRP holders. And this means that for staking specifically and using XRP as a economic security for different activities such as AI agents or insurance or whatever, they're going to be the assets that people seek out because the cost of capital is lower for them.
So we'll go ahead and pause it right there, but absolutely phenomenal information right there. I mean, just even the ability to earn 3% on our XRP, in my case personally, is astronomical, and I would love for that to take place, right? At least a portion of my XRP, not all of it earning and generating yield and being exposed to DeFi, but I'm definitely willing 110% to diversify and allocate some of my XRP positions to yield generation. And we continue to talk about these ongoing developments in the private CYPRX community in detail and how we're participating in these yield-bearing strategies. If you guys want a more in-depth look into that, you guys can always head over to the CYPRXtrading.com website and join us in the Wealth 28 Club to see how we are exposing ourselves to these DeFi primitives in the ecosystem to generate yield with our digital assets. So continuing down the rabbit hole, there was another major post today from Firelight. For those of you guys who don't know, remember Firelight, Hugo Filion at Apex mentioned what Firelight is going to be bringing for XRP holders, yield generation potential through staking and liquid staking opportunities, right? And so they just announced this today, June 30th, 2025. Get a closer look at what we're crafting. Comprehensive video tutorials coming soon, which is going to be exponential to onboard users onto their platform and teach them about the user interface. But here you can see it looks like there's already a total value locked on this of $1.74 million, which is very interesting. And you can see the liquid stake token right down here of XRP, STXRP. They don't have or show any type of yield generation or any amount that we're going to be possibly earning on the Firelight platform, but still a really interesting platform to be mindful of and pay attention to as things continue to progress. And so taking you over here to this Medium article just to thoroughly read through what Firelight is, this was posted from 3 days ago, titled Waking the Sleeping Giant, XRP's Growing Adoption, a Medium article that dives into detail on what Firelight is. So once dubbed a sleeping giant, XRP has grown to command significant attention. Today, that giant is awake, boasting a market capitalization upwards of 120 billion and the projected 6 million active wallets. Yet despite its scale and adoption for the vast majority of holders, this powerful asset has remained dormant in recent years. Remember that we listened to a gentleman from Strobe Finance mention that the vast majority of XRP's market cap remains dormant in centralized exchanges. Well, just imagine if $100 billion of XRP's market cap went from being dormant on centralized exchanges to active in the DeFi ecosystem, what that would do for the price of XRP. In order to fully grasp the magnitude of this change, let's examine similar paradigm shifts for Ethereum. The introduction of Eigenlayer's restaking model didn't just create a new product. This is important here and why I highlighted it. It says it redefined the utility of staked ETH, creating a multi-billion-dollar market for shared security. Remember the video, the gentleman on stage, I played for you guys in previous videos where he said, DeFi brought a certain aspect of utility to ETH.
Years ago, DeFi actually brought utility to ETH, right? Now, if you're holding ETH, you can lend it, you can borrow, you can stake, you can do so many things.
Traditionally, staking has not been possible with XRP. Its underlying consensus protocol relies on a trusted validator rather than staking or mining. We're introducing a transformative new model, that's Firelight, powered by Flare Network's F assets. We're activating XRP as a productive asset, enabling it to participate in shared security and capital efficiency and yield generation activity. This new approach to staking XRP offers a deliberate alternative to the monolithic absolute security model of native Ethereum staking. It prioritizes capital efficiency and accessibility, offering a staking experience optimized for flexibility and composability. By introducing a liquid staking primitive within a low-fee interoperable environment, we're establishing a modern, scalable foundation for yield generation in the XRP ecosystem. Now, this is huge because up here it specifically mentions capital efficiency, that's a key vocabulary word, and putting your assets to work through yield generation. With that being said, I want to take your attention over here to an unlisted video breakdown from the London Blockchain Conference that was posted 3 weeks ago. It has 43 views. Let's listen to this gentleman, author from UBS, who goes on to talk about capital efficiency and putting your assets to work for you.
And the third way is about the mitigation or removal of risk. And again, if we remain agnostic about how we're going to do that, very quickly you land on pretty much the only way that you're going to do that, or at least a very good way to do that, is by introducing concepts such as peer-to-peer settlement. So removing risk across the whole transaction lifecycle, making your capital work harder for you, and optimizing your balance sheet. It's all possible through innovative technologies like blockchain.
So he specifically mentions and talks about making the capital on your balance sheet more efficient and putting your capital to work for you. And that is exactly what is becoming available to both institutions and retail investors, powered by Flare Network's F assets, as well as the newly launched XRPL EVM sidechain live now on mainnet. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video breakdown. As always, bringing you guys some of the realest research in the game. We've been keeping you all in the loop with the DeFi developments in the XRP ecosystem since day one, since the AMM feature launched on the XRPL over a year ago. We really do appreciate the love and the support. If you guys would do us a favor, you enjoyed today's video, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. Don't forget, if anybody is interested in learning how we are utilizing our assets productively in the DeFi ecosystem, you want step-by-step tutorials, you want to see our trials, our tribulations, our hard-earned capital going and getting put to work for us, head over to CYPRXtrading.com, tap into the Wealth 28 Club. We'd love to have you on the team. With that being said, none of this is financial advice. I'm not telling you guys to go out there and participate in DeFi with your XRP. But as always, these things are changing and developing at a very rapid pace. Now is the time to educate yourself, stay tapped in, and pay attention to detail. I'll see you guys in the next video breakdown.